Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 things that I did not expect when it comes to marriage. As I was trying to narrow down to just 5 things, it was kind of hard just because overall, I don't really know too much as far as like what my expectations were when I got married, but also like you really never know what marriage is like because you've never been married before. So anyway, but I found that these 5 things have definitely been like the biggest when it comes to like, whoa, I was not expecting that. So, that being said, the first thing I wasn't expecting as far as marriage goes was how hard it was going to be. By this, I mean that like day to day life with Grayson isn't like hard. It's generally easy and it's fun, but hard as in the sense like I didn't realize how much like compromising and things along those lines would be occurring throughout marriage. And like I feel like it's okay that it's hard. Um, Obviously, like we're still pretty new to our marriage and we're still young and we're still learning things. So I feel like overall it's okay that it's not as easy as some people say. Um, but also I just feel like if it's super super like easy and sunshine and rainbows, like are you really getting to the root of like certain issues, or are you really learning to like grow each other as people? So I don't think it's necessarily bad that it's been all that hard, but it definitely has been a lot more of a challenge than what I was expecting. So that would definitely be the first one and the biggest thing as far as um, our marriage goes. The second thing has to do with people actually, and that's I didn't expect people to be so judgy. Um, and like I get it, Grayson and I got married when we were young, but like I can't ever come across someone where when they ask me that, oh my God, you're married at 19, or like, oh my God, you're married, you look so young. Like everyone's response is always like, why'd you do that? Like you look like you're 12. Like, are you crazy? Um, and like it's fair to have those thoughts, but also like, just congratulate me and move on, you know? Like it's okay to ask questions, but I feel like there's a fine line between like being curious and being judgy. So that's definitely a big one. I was not expecting people to like be so outspoken about how they feel about young marriages, but there's that one. This third expectation that I didn't have was I didn't expect Grayson to be so okay with me hanging out with my friends. Um, I've realized that that sounds kind of crazy when I say it, but like, so Grayson was my first boyfriend and obviously my one and only husband. And so throughout high school and stuff, I would just like see a lot of my friends when they entered a relationship kind of like drift away from their friends. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to like dedicate more time to your relationship, like your significant other, than it is to your friends. But I think there should always be like a balance between the two. But anyway, so I don't really know what my expectation was when it came to like how I would balance it out, but I definitely didn't expect like my husband to be so encouraging when it comes to like hanging out with them. He's always like, you guys should like have a sleepover, you guys should hang out, you guys should talk more. So it's been really sweet to have that kind of like encouragement and like motivation, because honestly, like I love my friends and stuff, but we're terrible when it comes to like making plans and committing to something. So we don't really hang out as often as we should. Like this one time, Grayson and his friends, like they all met here in Florida, and they're all from different states at this point. And so they meet up and then they go to Miami and have like a weekend together. And my friends and I are like blown away by the fact that like they managed to pull something like that together. So I guess my expectation as far as that goes was I kind of knew I wouldn't be hanging out with my friends as much as I used to, just because now I'm married, and so that's okay because I have to like focus on my marriage and I have other things to work on. But I'm really thankful that my husband's just the kind that like motivates me and encourages me to hang out with them. So that's that one. This next expectation that I didn't have was how special it is to fall asleep next to your significant other. And obviously, like the only other time that I've ever slept with someone next to me was like at a friend's sleepover or like a family member or something. And so like as much as I love having them over, it doesn't really feel like special, I guess. I don't really know how to like express that, but um my biggest concern, honestly, like when it came to like sleeping with Grayson, was how well I was going to sleep, just because I'm the kind of person that like likes to have like enough space in the bed, and I don't like to feel a lot of movement. I don't like to be woken up unless like it's my alarm or if like I'm ready to wake up. So it's been a lot sweeter than I expected it to be, which is great. And honestly, it's come to the point where like I don't like to fall asleep without Grayson next to me now. I have a really hard time. I usually have to keep like a light on or hang out on my phone for a couple hours before I actually fall asleep. If like Grayson's out of town or if something like that's going on and he can't sleep with me that night. So I was not expecting that because I always loved to sleep alone, but now I really can't do it. The last thing that I didn't expect is kind of a two-part thing, and it's how influential, like, I swear, people are so loud when they drive. I don't even know if you heard that, but anyway. So the next thing that I didn't expect as far as marriage goes was one, how influential like we can be to each other, and in turn, like I did not think that I was going to be like into fitness or that I was going to be eating the way that I am. um and like I'm still not like super into fitness or like that kind of thing. Like it's still a process and I'm still working on it, but it just blows my mind that like prior to Grayson, like I hated stepping foot into a gym, and like now I go like 3 to 4 times a week, and like I'm working towards choosing to go, you know. um or like something like as silly as like eggs. So I've always hated eating eggs, and then probably a month into our marriage, like I loved having eggs for breakfast. Um, it's very strange. So just silly things like that. Or like now I'm kind of tired of eggs again, and now kind of it's affecting Grayson, so he's not like super into eating eggs anymore. Um, this sounds super silly, but like I'm just trying to get at that, like the way we influence each other. Like living with someone really affects like the way you start to like or dislike things. Um, so something like that. But the other thing with that is also like, so prior to living with Grayson, I like never lived with any other guy, and I only ever lived with like my parents and my sister. And I mentioned this in a previous video, but like I didn't really care what my room looked like. But once Grayson and I got our own place, it was just kind of like, man, like I would clean every day, I would do dishes, I would sweep, like I'd light candles. Like I just couldn't stand the thought of like things not looking organized or looking well. Which is completely contrary to like the way I was before I got married. So it's just been kind of interesting to see these things play out in my marriage, and I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it'd be kind of fun to like hear things, just because I know some of you are married and some of you aren't married. So if you are married, I'd love to hear down below like what are things that have been happening to you that you didn't expect, and if you aren't married, what are some expectations that you do have, because I'd love to read about them and kind of like let you in on a few things. But nonetheless, that's basically it for today's video. If you guys like videos in regards to like talking about my marriage, or if you'd like more information in regards to anything about that, I'd love to do more videos about that, so let me know down below. But also just let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see next. I promise that I'm working on putting out more content a week. It's just little life update. I just started a new job, so I'm still in the process of like figuring out scheduling and when it's going to be best to like work and when to film. So if you guys just can be a little patient with me, but I promise that I'm working on fun stuff for you guys. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And I hope that you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. See you later.